Okay. It's 100 Monkey, your mixed race mongrel here. Let's see here. Let's go here. And let's go here. And I'm claiming one fair use, and I don't have the time to type all the words that I need for. Oh, and let me preface this by saying that USS Liberty. Okay, so a long time ago in a land far, far away. Wait, I'm supposed to be screen sharing. Am I screen sharing? And there these two guys are. They're good guys. They're just so racist they don't even fucking know they're racist. Is all it is. Because what they're saying is, oh, and we'll watch it together, and I'll point out the lies. I'm 61. I've had my first rodeo with this bullshit. My mom white, my dad black. My sons also, their mom's mom white, their mom's their mom's dad black. So she's half and half basically. So I'm half and half basically. My sons then again are half and half. And they're hybrids, considered very, very good-looking young boys. I've heard it since they were little. And these guys trying to make it sound like, oh, you get an inbred mongrel. No, when you keep the same race and they don't mix, that's when you start getting the issues. But let us go and hear what the ignorant have to say about being ignorant. Let's see here. And then speaking of being ignorant, yeah, of course not, because it's not I have to find, I've got so many tabs open up here. I have to find the tab there it is all the way at the end. Okay, there you go. That has the.
You can see the signs.
All right, here we go. Wait, and I'm going 2 times speed.
Hey, along the lines of what you were just talking about.
For decades, propaganda has been aimed at people of European descent to open the borders, become multicultural, and race mixed to end whiteness because only white people can be racist. If there's no more white people, then it will be world peace. Well, that is a massive, disgusting, and genocidal lie, as most of us have realized. Not all, though, like the beautiful German former model Heidi Klum, who married.
So with this one couple right here, this is going to be representative of all couples who are mixed race. Just, we're going to bring that on. And this, she has moved from B to C, but we'll let her use her own words. This is Red Ice, by the way.
Married the black singer Seal. I mean, come on, if this wasn't a PR move. Heidi is a lefty, so we can assume she bought all the anti-white lies and propaganda, including Nazi guilt being German.
Or maybe she just thought Seal was a world-class singer and she wanted to fuck him. But, couldn't be that.
Racial couples are more likely to divorce than same-race couples, and marriages.
And why is that? That might be because of C's like this. Because I know for a fact that where I come from, it's the state of Hawaii, all hybrids. By now, there's like the average child probably has 6 or 7, maybe 8 different races, because mom and dad are all mixed and their grandparents are all mixed and we all get along. And when you howlies come to Hawaii and see the people that are there, you blow your minds because they're so beautiful. And there's men that don't want to leave. And there's men that leave their wives because of the local girls. And the local girls are mixed. They're Hawaiian, Chinese, Japanese, haole. My girlfriend is half Japanese, half German. So her kids are going to have that and more. And this bitch right here trying to make it sound like what you get is a mongrel. No, what you get is a hybrid, and that's science. But like I said, let's let her talk.
Is with a black husband and white wife have a 208% divorce risk. And Seal and Heidi confirm
a 208% divorce risk of what? Over normal? Over same marriage, right? There's a good 208% of what? Over what? I'm going to assume, or we can make assumptions, but whatever, it's just a big number, 208%. Look at the blonde girl throwing around numbers at us. And then Jim's going to say, wow, sounds scientific.
Confirm that stat. It didn't work. None of this is.
Yeah, it's called eugenics, bitches.
Surprising because race matters. It's not just skin color and physical traits. Racial differences include differences in culture, behavior, and genetic makeup found in our blood, bones, and brains. We are not all the same. For mixed race peoples, blood transfusions, organ transplants, and bone marrow transplants become very difficult, which
Lie. And by the way, I'm a universal donor. I can donate to anyone, but only other type, well, what is it? O positives can donate to me. Anyway, that's a lie. So she's lying. So there she is lying because that's a lie. That's not the case at all. My mother could have donated to me and I could have donated to her. And I don't know about my dad, but I know for sure my mom. So shut the fuck up if you don't know what you're talking about.
which require donors to be genetically similar to their recipients.
Yeah, like moms and dads, mothers and fuck. So what you're trying to say is because that's not how any of this works. That's actually painful ignorance right there. Because your genes are going to be the same as your fucking mom or your dad because they're your fucking mom and dad, whether one is black or white, German or Japanese, Hawaiian or Chinese. And like I said, I come from a state, all you motherfuckers need to come to Hawaii and spend a little time before you spout shit like this. Because that's all it is shit. Now, I understand where it comes from because what's happening is you are correct. There are Zionists that are trying to infiltrate Europe and Scandinavia by using foot soldiers who are not white. But that's not exactly what we're talking about here. I mean, yeah, you probably don't want that to happen, and you probably shouldn't open your borders. Just like we shouldn't have opened our borders to 32 million or more people that we don't even know, and many of them causing problems. But that doesn't mean that Mexicans and white people can't mix. Holy crap, people. That doesn't mean that Mexicans and blacks don't mix. And that's what it means here. But where I come from, that's frowned upon because we all get along. Honestly, like me and the woman I'm with in Hawaii, nobody gives a fuck. Over here, might raise an eyebrow or two because you guys are so not ignorant.
If multiracial parents need a life-saving bone marrow transplant for their mixed kid, they couldn't be a donor. When people say that race mixing is
What the fuck is she talking about? Like straight up, what is she talking about? That a parent can't donate. I mean, okay.
superior, it's the brainwashing talking. Most human genetic variation, 85 to 90%, exists within populations, not between them. So let's take a look at supermodel Heidi's 3 mixed race children with Seal.
Yeah, they ain't good looking kids.
Yeah, her stunning looks are
However, these boys, they're, but then take a look at Seal, bitch. So you're going to try and tell me that because of this, now, should I get pictures of my boys or am I going to drag them into this? No. But like I said, my son's well known for being really good looking boys and they're mixed race. I can name my girlfriend, well known for being a good looking woman in her youth, modeling, cover girl, the whole 9 yards, mixed race, half Japanese, half German. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And using this one example, Seal, not one of the best looking black men I've ever laid eyes upon. If I, do say so. So anyway, but like I said, I'm pretty sure that she was looking past the looks, and the boy can sing. And at least these two apparently didn't take the deal because they all seem to be the correct gender.
are no longer visible. Gone, baby, gone. By the way, Seal was supposedly classified as a mulatto since he has some Portuguese Brazilian in there, really? But let's look at her white daughter with an Italian businessman. She's gorgeous. This goes to show that the most genetic variation exists within a population. And if you want to preserve your unique inherent...
That is, again, one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever heard. Once again, females programmed to find genetics outside the tribe. Because when you breed and interbreed too much, that's not what happens. Again, this is genetic behavior because when you interbreed too much, you wind up with problems. So that's why you'll find that one person from outside the tribe, often a different color, is desirable. Okay. That's because even like in the royal families, what do? They try to find somebody far outside their genetics so they can bring them in. And again, this is just it's eugenics. But when you mix two races, you get a hybrid. And anybody that tells you different is a liar.
Inherent European traits coveted by others, don't race mix. You know she feels closer to this white daughter too. You know it. After all that, she married the man of her dreams.
My
She said, for the
mom
first
knew
time,
this
I have a partner who I can discuss everything with. She gushed about how great the sex is and how absolutely wonderful their marriage is, saying, maybe it is because he is German and we understand each other in a different way. Yes, Heidi, yes, he is white and he's German like you. You returned home, returned to your genes, returned to nature. Sadly,
Return to your genes. There is eugenics. The genes of the human intermix from Africa to South America to it's one race. And then what we have, I mean, fuck me, unbelievable. Actually, let's just let her keep talking.
she now has 3 kids who aren't German by any stretch of the imagination, doing her part for the
They're half German.
Kalergi agenda of creating a new mixed race man of the future. But you know what? Her 3 kids aren't selling it very well. Marry and procreate in your race, folks. Folk first.
You're watching at us TV first.
Now, rather than point out the bullshit, take a listen to this.
Okay, Dr. Betzer.
It just gets
Well,
better.
Red Eyes is really very, very good. And I have no doubt that all the complications you're describing are in fact accurate. I actually have a book.
Well, you should have some doubts, Jim, because pretty much everything she said was complete eugenics bullshit. And myself, my sons, and many of the people I knew and grew up with are living proof of same. See, when you white folk get together and spend too much time with each other, this is the shit that happens. Once again, pick your lily white ass up, get it on an airplane, and go see how it's done in places like Hawaii. You're ridiculous and stupid and racist. Again, if you study some genetics and you get weight on in there, we can start. I made a video talking about how they fused telomeres, so you know that we're created beings. But anyway, if you get into the genetics of it, yeah, we can interbreed, except for these Rh negative weirdos. But that's a whole other story. But the idea is there is the ability to interbreed among the races, and what you get is not a mongrel, is not a weakened race, is not something. Usually, what you get, like Hapa, well known. Hapa Chinese, well known for being beautiful women. Hapa Japanese, well known for being beautiful women. Hapa Hawaiian, well known for being beautiful women and men. What does Hapa mean? Half. And you guys are going to just keep going. And then you're going to try and say, we're not being racist. No, you're just being ignorant and stupid. And you're showing me how ignorant and stupid you are. Now, I'm good with, okay, I'll give you a little piece of information. I used to date a woman who worked at the Rose Law Firm, interned there, and it was an unspoken secret. Or what is it? An open secret, I guess is what you white folk call it, when everybody knows but nobody says nothing. That Vince Foster and Hillary Clinton were fucking. Okay, that's he said, she said, that wouldn't stand up. That's hearsay, Your Honor. But yeah, I heard her say it. She used to work there. She said it to me, and now I'm saying it to you. That it was an open secret that those two were having an affair. And then it was of no surprise when he ended up dead. And nobody saw nothing. Because those pirates are good about not saying. Okay, so he won't let that one go. And I might get banned off of YouTube for talking about it. Nobody normal has 56 dead friends by suicide. Between the two of us, we can probably count 10. And a couple of those were because of boys that grew up that had been molested by pedophiles and couldn't do it and killed themselves. Okay, so that's another thing that Jim talks about that he doesn't let go. And like I said, USS Liberty and. But on this one, you are so fucking far off base. I can't fucking even see you from where I'm standing. And once again, this is not a straw man. This is a fucking living man talking to you, whose mom happened to be white and whose dad happened to be black. And where I come from, once again, nobody give a shit. In fact, that's why my mother moved from Illinois, where the racist idiots like this are in droves. Like, take a look at Skokie. And yeah, they couldn't keep it together because the racism was so great. So she had opportunity to go, it's a long story, but she had the opportunity to go teach in Hawaii. And when she came to Hawaii, nobody was spitting in her hair for having a brown baby. That would be me, you know, taking me into the white bathroom. And my mother had a father who was a bastard. That son of a bitch beat my grandmother and my mother and my uncle bloody on more than one occasion because he was a boozing drinker because he'd gone to World War II and seen things that men shouldn't see. Okay, so she was not afraid to beat the shit out of the women that spit in her hair for bringing me into the whites only bathroom. Okay, but you know, you'd rather not do that as adults in Illinois. This was, anyway. So when she came to Hawaii, nobody gave a shit. And they used to, you know, insult her by saying, oh, whose baby are you taking care of? No, it's mine. No, but you're not the same color. You fucking shitty white people. We're not racist. We just don't think that the races should mix. And then the argument is genetics, not personalities. Because I can see you probably wouldn't want your daughter or son to be going out with, you know, a criminal. But if it's, you know, high school, college graduate, maybe even not that, because then they're probably going to be a socialist. But as it turns out, we've got a crop of conservatives now because the pendulum has swung back the other way. But what we have now is racism coming. The black folk just as ignorant and racist as these guys. In fact, these guys are pretty mild compared to some. I can't say it out loud. That N-word, right? They supercharge that. But anyway, them is the worst ones by far. Like, these guys are just being stupid, but the other guys are stupid and ignorant, even more ignorant than this. Wait. Let me let them talk. Let them talk.
The evolution of intelligence are humans the only animals with minds. Where I talk about the difference between genetic evolution and cultural evolution, at that point, really, this mixed race business hadn't become such a phenomenon that it deserved to be addressed. I thought this was, for a short piece, excellent, very objective, scientific in my opinion.
Scientific
I don't see political bias there. Of course.
Wait. Let's back that up a little bit. Let me make sure we get that.
Excellent, very objective,
Very
scientific in my opinion. I don't see political bias there.
No political bias at all. Just racist. There was no left, right. There was no Democrat, conservative. It was just straight up racism. That bitch sound like a Democrat, not a conservative. And by the way, black folk, go take a look. The longest filibuster is held by who? From what party against what? What was he filibustering against? And yet, anyway, but the idea is not scientific, complete horseshit. What you get when you mix races are hybrids. Period. Same thing. You get Samoans mixing with Hawaiians. You get a hybrid. You get beautiful women. You get handsome, strong men, good football players. You don't get a mongrel that can't have a blood transfusion. You stupid fucks.
Of course, she and Red Eyes are going to be accused of racism because that's
exactly what it was. Jim, open your fucking eyes. Like I said, pick your sorry ass up and get on a plane. Go to Maui. They could use the revenue. Bring some of your racist asshole friends with you and talk shit like this loudly in a bar and see how it works for you. About how the races shouldn't mix. Love to see it. Oh, maybe you could go Oahu. You could go downtown Honolulu, where I get plenty hapas all over the place down there. And you could spout shit like this. Go ahead. And then it's like, we didn't do anything.
Exactly what those who are promoting the mixed race theory, and these are principally the Jewish Zionists who want to destroy the integrity of the other races because it's their objective to rule the world.
Okay, see, right here in Hawaii, we have a saying for this. Wrong, but true.
And if there are a lot of heterogeneous populations out there, they're far less likely to display the kind of unity, courage, and integrity it would require to defeat them. Plus, of course, they have singled out special groups for elimination altogether, such as Christians. According to the rabbis.
And then we're off to a different subject, and he is 100% dead on. I was just explaining this to some people. You guys seem to not notice that in Syria, Christian populations have been wiped out, demolished. Places that Christians have lived for centuries, going on to millennia, more than 1,000 years, wiped out. Settlements of 20, 10, 5,000 people no longer exist. While the conservatives are talking about how they're our best friends, USS Liberty.
According to their Talmudic beliefs, the Goyim, the non-Jew, only exists to serve the Jew. That the Jew is entitled rape, steal, cheat, lie with impunity to the non-Jew.
Yes, this is why in your paperwork, when you tell them that, by the way, you do not have power of attorney over my estate or anything ever again from this moment forward, if you somehow presume that you do, you don't. And you never did, as far as I knew, because you never received permission. But see, I was consenting because I never wrote them, never put my hand on anything and told them they couldn't. So they assumed that they could. And then the other part you need to tell them is that I am not a heathen, because exactly what he's talking about. They do everything. They administer you for your own good. Right? They're doing you a favor.
And when this famous rabbi, thought to be the Jewish Messiah, God returned to earth, encountered the proposal, he said, no, he can't be the Messiah because there are still Christians on the face of earth. This is why people like Mike Huckabee are mentally, to say confused, to put it so mildly. They're actually deranged because they are supporting the Zionists who want to extinguish the Christians. So they're really promoting their own group elimination from the face of earth, their own group extinction by supporting the Zionists. Now and then you get a flicker of light. Huckabee the other day said he thought it was appalling that the Israelis had destroyed the last remaining Christian church in Gaza. Well, they're out to destroy the last remaining Christian.
See, who's talking about that? Most of the people I tell, they don't. What do you mean there's a Christian church in Gaza? I thought everybody was a Muslim in Gaza. I didn't know there were Christian. Yeah. Seeing one of the few guys that actually, spits it out of his mouth.
On earth, not just the last Christian church in Gaza. So, Huckabee.
So see, here's how it works on the planet. I agree with most everything but I have a serious issue. And I wasn't going to sit there and type back and forth about being a straw man. No, I am the man. I'm exactly what the fuck you're talking about. My sons are what they're talking about. My girlfriend's her kids are what they're talking about. Her grandbabies are what we're talking about. Because now her grandbabies are, let's see what we got. What all of the, do they all have? Like Spencer's? Boogie. Your grandbabies. What's the nationalities? Pick a grandbaby. Okay, wait. Okay, so one of them's German, Japanese, and Polish, and that's a cute baby. And then the other one is what? German, Japanese, obviously. Italian, Mexican, Scottish, and Irish. But you don't want to mix the races because you get, and that is another beautiful. That kid is so cute. It's crazy. Photogenic as hell. And then wait, one more. Japanese, German, French, Spanish, Russian, and a Russian Jew. And that girl is going to grow up to be a beauty. Period. Kind of look like my girlfriend, my common law wife. Kind of like they look that they have similar. She looked like her grandma a little bit. Okay. Again, you're just so fucking racist. You don't know you're racist. And yeah, I agree that the Swedes don't want a couple of million Muslims coming across the border, especially when their men are. I can't believe that they put up with the shit. Like, how are these guys not just being lynched? Oh, because they're too civilized to protect their women? See, look, I'm getting all kind of trouble. Right? So we agree on that thing, but that doesn't mean that if somehow, some way, a self-hating Swedish girl wants to hook up with a Muslim or an African, that they're going to have mongrel children. What they're probably going to have is a beautiful daughter. Because take a look at some of the models who are half African and half, I mean, just, you guys are just being stupid and ignorant. And again, so ignorant, because the same thing I heard in North Idaho. I'm 61 years old. This is not my first rodeo with this fucking argument. Sitting in the, okay, so I'm in North Idaho. The whole Rodney Weaver thing is going off in not too far, driving distance, like short driving distance from where I'm having lunch with some lumberjacks and cowboys and me. Anyway, and they're all saying the same thing. They're not racist. They just don't think the two races should be together. You know, that the races shouldn't interbreed. And I was like, my mom's white and my dad's black. So what you're saying is I shouldn't exist because you're just that ignorant. And see, up there, I was not the white color. But once they figured out that I can shoot guns and ride horses, yeah, it's not so bad after all. Because see, in Hawaii, we do, horseback riding is a thing. Because a lot of people don't know that we have ranches. Anyway, but the idea being is that, yeah, they're not racist. They just don't want their daughter to date one. They just don't think that, white women or black men should be together or vice versa, and that there must be something wrong with them if they can't stay within their own race. No, genetics say that in many tribes, if a stranger or foreigner comes among them, the women will try, to get, it's not so much acceptable for the men, but the women will try to get that genetics into them because they understand that it improves and strengthens the tribe. You ignorant fucks.
He has his head screwed on backwards. He's clearly been given instruction from the Trump admin. And by the way, we now have a video substantiating that Donald J. converted to Judaism in 2017, not just conventional Judaism, but the Chad Lubavitcher, the most extreme virulent form of Jewish supremacy, which just might explain to the tiniest degree why this guy we elected to put America first and nothing of the kind, but only put Israel first again and again and again and again and again. It's because he's not even an American, really.
Okay, we'll stop there. And again, I got no argument with that part at all. I got nothing to say. Absolutely 100%. what a sucky world if we just all agree with everything everybody else said, right? Okay. But you guys need to educate yourselves, you ignorant white folk. And see, brah, I get it where where it's worse because you guys won't say shit like this when I'm sitting next to you most of the time. And you don't use the N word when N's are around. But anyway, the other end of it is when I'm around black folk, oh my God, because they think I'm one of them, and which, yeah, more or less. But eventually, as soon as I start talking, they realize, oh no, you're one of them other ones, right? You're one of them mulatto. You're one of those. What do they call? They call the Asians that live on the mainland bananas because they're yellow on the outside but they're white inside. And what is it? Snowflake? I can't remember. Oreo. Yeah, there you go. But the idea being is that oh, you're not one of us, and you're right. I'm not one of you. I didn't grow up in the hood. I have no hood experience. The worst place on Maui is called Happy Valley. That's our hood, and it's Happy Valley, and that's where the quote unquote projects are. And yeah, everybody's in there is poor, and most of them are Hawaiians, and a lot of them are mixed. In fact, try go find one pure-blooded Hawaiian. Okay. Anyway, and I can do that. That's enough of this. Like, we'll stop sharing now because, like I said, he's off onto another topic. And I like it because it is a stream of consciousness. And most of the time, they just go from one topic to another. I'm in 100% agreement with this guy, but I'm not going to let him sit there and spout ignorant bullshit that I know for a fact isn't true. I'm not bragging or nothing, but in my younger day, I had a stupid body count because I wasn't considered not, women. Some women really liked me just because of the way I looked, and others absolutely didn't like me just because of the way I looked. But in Hawaii, I had white girlfriends, I had Japanese girlfriends, I had Filipino girlfriends, I had Hawaiian girlfriends, I had Samoan girlfriends, I had Haole girlfriends. Nobody gives a shit. And see, the thing in Hawaii, everybody mixed together, right? We fuck each other. Over here, I can still go to a Mexican restaurant, only get Mexican inside, and no Haoles, and they kind of look at me, right? Like, he must be, because the Rasas think that I'm some kind of mix or something like that. Because I can kind of sort of blend in wherever I go. But anyway, except, when I go to the restaurant where everybody in there is white, and it's very clear that everybody's in there is white, and there's a reason everybody in there is white. And then they look at me like, what are you doing in here? Because everybody in here is white. That does not happen in Hawaii. There is no only Japanese, only Filipino, only. And if you go into the Filipino restaurant and you're not Filipino, they're happy to see you. If you go into a Japanese, there just isn't any of that. My sons were amazed when they went to Japan because Japanese folks are racist. So they decided that my sons, even though they have kind of blondie hair because of the tropics, were a little too dark for them. They certainly aren't white. So my youngest boy, there you go, first time out of the chute, he'd mostly been in Hawaii. The one thing, he went on one trip and he went to Eastern Oregon and found out that Eastern Oregon is just as bad as Mississippi. And I know this for a fact because I was there in the 90s and people were like, your dad was hanging around here? And yeah. And anyway, because back then it was really, really white. It's still pretty white. And that was Julian's first, that's my youngest boy's first, with a 5-star passport, by the way, first experience of being discriminated against just because of the way he looked. Before he even opened his mouth, before he got there, before they knew anything about him, they had already prejudiced him. And then the same thing in Japan. And he was amazed that the Japanese, because in Hawaii, the Japanese are not like that, because Hawaiian Japanese is not regular like other, Hawaiian Japanese, sometimes they marry Chinese. The only fucking place on the planet, from what I understand, where that happens. because I guarantee you the Japanese fucking hate the Chinese. And I have been to China. The Chinese fucking hate the Japanese. Okay. So like there is no Japanese girl that's gonna bring a Chinese boy home to her father in Japan, and that's not gonna happen at all. Okay, but on Maui and in Hawaii, you can find half Japanese, half Chinese. Or by now it's probably half Japanese, like Japanese, Chinese, Hawaiian, Filipino. Or somewhere, I mean, you know what I mean? Or I know one guy, he's Japanese, Irish, and his girlfriend is Japanese Portuguese, and their baby is cute, Japanese, fair-skinned. Anyway, and on Oahu, if you go to Oahu and go to the high schools and just look at those beautiful, beautiful children, all with mixed race parents, because you get more than, well, I mean, like I said, by now. Mom or dad has 3 or 4, and and right, so together they got like 8, like you just heard, right, or 7 or 6, where they're because dad already has 4 different races and mom has 4 different races, and right, and sometimes those races are the same. So how you do those calculations? That's fun. Okay. But I wasn't going to sit there and type all this shit to the guys that say I'm having a straw man argument to discredit Jim Fetzer's work. No, Jim has done impeccable work over the years. And the reason why he's over there on BitChute and because you can't talk here. Like, this may get my channel banned, whatever. But and I'm not sitting around playing the race card. That was fucking racist. Straight up eugenics argument bullshit. And they use Seal. No offense to Seal, motherfucker can sing, but that ain't the best looking man you've ever laid eyes on. Meantime, Heidi Klum, one of the better looking women, and I don't think she was like self-hating liberal German. I think women are not like us, fortunately. Mostly saposexual, and ask any musician if the lead singer gets pussy. Ask any guitar player. So he had unfair advantage that overcame his maybe not so excellent features. And God bless Heidi Klum, because like I said, she gives all the rest of us hope. Anyway, but the idea being is now I'm gonna make this video. I'm gonna end it, and I'm gonna post it and make it a link. And I'm pretty sure on BitChute they'll let me link to YouTube, and hopefully they see it before YouTube strikes this thing down. Because I didn't use any of my local code, nothing. I didn't put a shirt on. I just was like, I got to make that video, or I'm not going to make that video. And it took me forever to try and find my way back to where that guy is. And wait, before we leave, nope, I don't want to go there. I do not want to go to there either. I do want to go here. Okay. So what I want to do, okay, we got to share it again. Look at me using technology, and see, half the time it says I'm sharing, and then it turns out I'm not sharing. So we make sure that I'm sharing. And it says, yes, I am. There I am down in the corner. And then if I go over here, and I go like this, am I still on? Well, yes, I am. Okay, so. Here we are. Tell a straw man story to taint Tim. I'm not tainting his work. Honest people timestamp the video to cite Jim and make an argument. Okay, that's me being honest. Pedivore protecting shills tell lying, smearing story. I am definitely not a pedophile protecting shill. And where I come from, them's fighting words. Okay, And then yeah, lots of lovely racists here. Oh, you sound racist, right? Right? Yeah, we're parasiting off whites. That's not racist. And see, this is the lovely thing. I like this and Gab. Gab actually, sometimes I actually get offended reading some of the shit that they post on Gab, because them is some racist motherfuckers on Gab. I'll tell you what, and mostly against Jews, but also Negro, anybody not white. Them racist boys is racist, and sometimes they're so racist. Usually, it's actually funny, but once in a while, you know what I mean. Like they're so racist that it actually makes you laugh. And that's happened to my sons. Like my older boy was exposed when he was doing fire jumping, and he was in Oregon and Washington and Idaho and various other states, and he got to see what it's like when you are a minority. But at least he was with a bunch of firefighters, and he just got done studying. Who did he study with? It was McCune, jiu-jitsu. And see, McCune had a thing where all you had to do was show up, but it was early in the morning. But he would be there and he'd roll with you for an hour or two every morning, pretty much. This old man would teach you the secrets of jiu-jitsu. And all you had to do is show up. Any belt could show up, right? And my boy was a white belt just starting out. And 1 hour with a master, better than 100 hours of studying by yourself. And see, the guy took a liking to my boy because he fucking showed up, right? Just showed up. If the guy said, I'm going to be there in the morning from so on to so on. And so a lot of times it was like personal time with this master, because like only 4 or 5 guys show up. Sometimes only 2, 3 guys show up. Big class, maybe 10, 11 guys show up. And this, if you know who this guy is, this guy has created more jiu-jitsu champions and more martial arts champions than pretty much, there's not a whole lot of guys that can hold a candle to this guy. Like he's created masters. And like people say, oh, why don't you go get belts and, you know, win and fame and fortune? And he's like, why don't I just teach people to do it for me? Because if he's the one that taught them, probably, right? Okay, anyway, and I think that last count was like 25 championships of guys that he had trained. Anyway, and so the guys don't show up when this guy's showing up, when he's like, it's just, you know, come and I'll roll you and I'll show you all the, and see, and he was saying that the difference between novice and master is often just that much, just the difference in the hand holder, difference in the angle, or difference in the, you know, and sure enough, it works. And then he's like, you know, you're trying your best against this old crippled guy with a bad back, and he's sitting on you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And he didn't feel bad about it, because even though he was, there were plenty of guys that had like belts, like, you know, black belts, and he'd do the same to them. Ziggy, want to get in on the action one more time? Anyway, long story short, it's hybrids. It's not mongrels. It's not any of that. And again, I'm in 100% agreement with the idea that, yeah, you don't want thousands and millions of people that do not assimilate with you coming across your border. But that does not mean that the races can't mix. If 2 people love each other, shut the fuck up. All right, 100th monkey out. I'm going to call it a day there. But, oh wait, no, I'm not calling it a day, because I wanted to do this. All right, here, there you go. We're gonna click this. And now I wanna make sure I'm still sharing it. Oh, shut up. Wait, no. Stop it. Okay. Opened a new window, didn't it? Darn it. Go try one more time. Yeah, see, it stayed on the same channel. So now I have that channel, and now I gotta go close this window. Stop share. Oops, that's end the stream. We want to do that. We want to stop sharing. Okay. Everybody seen everything okay? All right, now I'm going to try and share this other one, which is Carl accusing me of being a straw man. Let's see here. Let's go over here and you tell him, Ziggy. Ah, he's annoying. He got one video. Would flatter Dave. What do you know? Anyway, see, and on every other argument, we'd probably be similar on the similar side. But I'm not going to sit around and listen to you ignorant white folk say ignorant white folk things without a response. And like I said, if my mom was alive, she'd eat your fucking shorts, and so would my grandma. Oh, that's a good story. Shall I tell that story? Don't you bring that. Okay, and I'm going to say it out loud. Don't you bring that nigger baby home. Right, because my mom's folk are white folk living down in Port Byron on the Mississippi or Rock Island River. And you ain't bringing no half-breed home. So my mom, who was the ultimate, like I said, that woman, she no care. She don't care nothing. That's where I kind of get it from. Like many people will say they don't care, but inside they actually care. No, my mom just, no, she didn't care. Okay, so, and my uncle, same thing. You know, don't bring that little square back here. Okay, so she came home from Chicago with me in her arms, came to the house that anyway, long story, walked up the stairs, took me, handed me to my grandmother. My grandmother looked down and went, oh, shit. And there was the racism cured in my family forevermore. Okay. But still, she wasn't still going to live and have me grow up in Illinois around, because one day I came home and said, Mommy, how come white people are better than black people? And she was like, what? Where the fuck? Where did you hear that? Well, I was next door and they were telling me how white people were better than black people. And see, here's the other thing. Say what you like about me. My IQ is higher than most people you're going to run across, period. I'm not bragging or nothing, but I have a high IQ. And when I'm around other people that have high IQ, we can have conversations and they like it. Okay. Not because I'm an inbred mongrel, but because I'm a hybrid. Well, take them out then. Put them down one level. And I want some tea. Bring me some tea since you get that tea. You know what? No more. Try look inside of the fridge. There's not another tea inside the fridge. Well, see how it is? Me too. You're not doing a podcast. This is thirsty work. Especially when you got to correct ignorant. Anyway, like I said, I agree with Jim most of the time. But the idea is, if two people want to sok, you know nothing for say. Right? And if you do have something to say, most likely you say stupid shit that's racist, like we just heard. So I didn't take anything out of context. I interrupted them, absolutely. But you got to hear their own words. And like I said, my mother would eat their fucking shorts. See, my mom was all about Martin Luther King. My dad was all about Malcolm X. I was born on the list. My mom was, like I said, a union organizer. Thank you so much. Wait, I gotta do this. Like, watch. Okay, I can do it. You can do it. Never spill even one drop. And like I said, they back in the 50s, the union busters would come and bust up the union headquarters, beat the crap out of the men, but they wouldn't touch the women. Right now, slaves, what happens? They touch the women too. And that's supposed to be a good thing. That's equality and all that stuff, right? But anyway, so yeah, I was born on the list. Oh, and that's a fun thing. after my mother died, just for shits and giggles, I looked up to see if she had certain files on record with the CIA and the FBI. And yes, in fact, there was a file with my mom's unique identifier on it, and more than one agency. And all she was a school teacher on Maui who happened to believe that anybody should be able to fuck anybody they like, and who also happened to believe, like, she's the old school liberal, not this new school liberal, and that also that you should organize and get paid for your right, because when she first started teaching, they were screwing the teachers, and then they negotiated all kind of contracts with the state of Hawaii, reneged on, and now they're having a hard time again with teachers because they don't get paid well enough to go through what they got to go through. Not in Hawaii, not in any other state. And now, anyway, what's happening is happening. But the idea is, my mom was a teacher. That's it. She was a teacher that believed in equal rights. She would never in a fucking million years have signed a contract had she knew that she was giving up my unalienable God-given rights. She would never have entered into that contract knowingly and willingly. Never in a million fucking 100% fraud. You know, can tell me different. There's a semi-naked Japanese woman strolling through my living room.
It's 88 degrees.
88 degrees in the shade. Real hot in the shade. Okay, so now we're going to get air conditioning. See, because I like it hot. I don't mind hot. That's why Phoenix, no problem. My boys are like, you're crazy. And then they're over there in Vietnam and it's like 100 degrees and humid. I'm like, over here it's 100 degrees and it's like 16% humidity. Oh, it's great. I was talking to this blind guy at the pool today, and I'm trying to sun gaze and meditate, and he doesn't know that. So he wants to conversate, but it's great because he's got his phone in his hand. And I was telling him a little bit about Fiji. And then so he started finding out, like, you know, did you know that Fiji is 18, well, Suva anyway, is 18 degrees south, and Hawaii is 21 degrees north. And because, see, all information in his hand. So I've talked to him a little bit, and I'm going to slowly but surely say, hey, why don't you look up 5-star passports and see what it has to say. And then when it lies to him and tells him that there is no such thing as a 5-star passport, I'm going to show him that my sons do, in fact, have 4- and 5-star passports, and there is such a thing, right? Anyway, okay. I'm going to quit already. Let's end this stream. 2 in one day. You're right. This is right home, one for the history books. But like I said, I had to get this one out. Now I can finally focus on a couple of other things that I want to do, but I had to get that off of my chest. All right, take it easy, Crime Stoppers. See, e pluribus unum is how I usually end it. Educate yourself. Don't say ignorant shit. Get yourself a plane ticket to Hawaii and see how it's done. Is there racism? Yeah. Do we make fun of each other? Yeah. But see, that's how we make fun of each other. And we sleep together. And we live mostly in harmony. Mostly. There's some resentment going on. So there is some of that fuck you, Howley thing going on. Always has been. But like I said, Jim, go to Hawaii and go spout that shit about races not intermarrying and see how far you get. And you might actually get an ass kicking. All right.